in the last, would you say, last couple of weeks, maybe slightly longer than that, he just doesn't look the Saka of old, does he, in terms of that quality in the final third? I almost want to see, I always think Bukayo Saka's at his best when he's gliding down the right-hand side, cutting in on his left foot. And obviously you watch him more closely than I do. But it feels like, for me, when I'm watching Saka, he's often at the moment a little bit too safe in possession rather than... Is that fair, CJ?
His confidence is shot to the floor, man. Again, a lot of it is poor form. A lot of it is coming back from injury, but his confidence is shot to the floor. And obviously for Arsenal, that's the only thing I care about. But going into the World Cup, I do think he's second-guessing himself. I said it once and I'll say it again. I'll always back Bukayo Saka. It's really been your first poor season. If anyone responds to adversity, it is Bukayo Saka. But today, going into it, I thought, you know what? Could it be one of them where you've had a bad season? Today you play well, everybody starts loving you. You and a number of our attackers just haven't been good enough today, and it's what we become accustomed to. We fully believe in our defence. Obviously, tactically, City kind of stifled Zubamendi and Rice getting on the ball, but generally they're okay. Where you look at our attacking options, that's where you lot have been a lot of hot and cold, and I don't know if that's for the players individually, Mikel Arteta, or a bit of both, but there's nothing I haven't seen today that I haven't seen on other occasions. There was more to give. It is what it is, man.
Just what do you think, if you had to put your finger on it, why do you think Saka has struggled this season, CJ?
A bunch of things, you're getting doubled, tripled up against. You've had injuries that have been stop, start. You're just playing poor. Sometimes it is.
Do you think he's fully fit?
No, I don't really think he's fully fit, but I don't want anyone listening to think that's a cop-out. I just think you're playing poor, and I back you all the way, but get out of your poor form. Form is temporary, class is permanent. You just haven't been good enough, but Saka's my guy. There's a lot of things that we can improve. I'll never get at Saka because there was a time where we weren't in cup finals, or going into this game, for example, I'm looking at several players to stand up to be counted. 9 times out of 10, it was Saka robust, so he was poor today. It kind of continues to form the recency form that you've had, but I back Bukayo all the way, man. We just have to lick our wounds and go again.
Let's talk about Bukayo Saka, Arsenal fans. We need to have an honest conversation about Bukayo Saka because right now the numbers are down, the eye test is failing, the impact isn't the same, and for a long time, people, we have had questions to ask, and owing to us obviously losing in the League Cup final with what we're trying to aspire to achieve this season, the questions are getting bigger and bigger around the star man. Keyword star man. He's not a boy anymore. And then when you look at it, I think all of us know there's multiple layers. Is Saka out of form? Has he been overworked for years? Is it anything to do with the relationship on the right-hand side? Is there an attacking tax that has to be applied on attacking players in Mikel Arteta's system? Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know a couple of reasons as to why you think we're having these conversations about Bukayo. I've got a question, Arsenal fans. How much does the change in right-hand side of our team play into Saka's poor form? For years it was Odegaard, Bukayo, and obviously Benjamin White. Timber's obviously a great player, and Saka's played a number of games across the last 2 seasons with him. But then when you look at it, Timber's had to do a bit of different things at right back, people. If there's been any kind of change at a point this season, do you remember when Calafiori and Timber were fit in the first half of the season and our fullbacks were statistically in the box a lot more than our attacking players? So you've got Jurriën Timber, who his job isn't like Benjamin White's, really just get on the overlap and become a back three. It's been that at times. He's obviously had to invert at times and make central runs where Saka's kind of been stationed on the touchline, if that makes sense. And when you're getting doubled up against, you're in issues. Of course, Saka and Eze on occasion have looked good together, but Eze's still finding his feet. Saka's in poor form. That relationship hasn't really blossomed. Odegaard's been in and out of full fitness. Again, you've even got Zubamendi, which is a new kind of relationship indirectly on that right-hand side. How much does that play a part? How much does it play a part that Ben White's been in and out? Timber's been asked to do different roles. Odegaard's season has been broken. I think he's been subjected to like 13 starts. And of course, Saka has been poor off Saka's own back. But when we look beneath the surface, I'm just asking you guys, is this something to consider? And for you, how much does this play a part, people? There's just so many questions. Like historically under Mikel Arteta, Saka has been unstoppable and undroppable. And that's a compliment, but it's also a risk because we have been over-reliant on Bukayo Saka and potentially, and I've got another question, some Arsenal fans would say, has Bukayo Saka been overplayed by Mikel Arteta? And have we kind of been due this kind of circumstance? Again, get in the comments and let me know your thoughts. On the topic of being overplayed, it takes me back to, I believe, 2022, 2023, when Mikel Arteta was asked about this and he completely shut it down. I don't make him right. I don't make him wrong. I do think the amount of games that footballers have to play, there's something that needs to be done in that regard. And this isn't just extended to Bukayo. This is a lot of footballers. There's more games at club and country level than there's ever been. Player welfare is something that the fat cats who control the game that you, me, and everybody loves, it's only going to get worse. But Arteta said, going back a few years ago, look at the top players in the world. They play 70 games and every 3 days and make the difference and win the game. You want to be at the top, you have to be able to do that. If we start to put something different in the minds of our young players, I think we are making a huge mistake, because then it's one yes, one no. Now I don't play. On AstroTurf, I don't play. I don't want to do that. I want them to be ruthless every 3 days. They are going to be knocking on my door saying, I want to play, I want to win the game. There's not a fitness coach in the world who is going to tell me they cannot do it, because I've seen it. 72 games, score 50 goals. The players don't score 50 goals if they play 38 games in a season. It's impossible. So what do you lot make of that, people? I don't make him wrong, but if I'm honest with you, we've probably been due this kind of situation with Bukayo Saka's fitness, because, you know, I know Wanyeri's played right wing on occasion. We've had other guys that can play there on occasion, but let's be real. This is the only, and obviously got Max Dowman, but this is the only season that with Noni Madueke, you've actually got someone that can deputize for Bukayo or potentially start ahead of him, owing to the topic at hand in this video. I mean, for the past 6 seasons, Saka has been consistently among Arsenal's highest players for minutes people played as well. This season, he's played 2,869 minutes in all comps, which is more than the 2,619 he played last season. It's fair to say Bukayo has played a lot of football in his career, right? And his appearance in our defeat in the cup final against Manchester City at 24 years of age means he's played 305 times for this football club in all competitions. Again, by God's grace, we win not only the Premier League, but a number of the other bits of silverware on offer. That means he could play up to 15 more games this season if we reach the finals of the FA Cup and Champions League, which would then take his tally to 57 if he plays in all of them. But we do need to remember, while this might not be Saka and a number of attacking players' most standout seasons, it might be, from a personal point of view, as a club, winning stuff, going down in history, getting over the line, it might be their best season in hindsight at Arsenal Football Club. He's going to have to get it back together, because simply put, we've got 7 Premier League games and we're going to need you, which you weren't there in the final. Obviously, the other cup competitions speak for itself. And for us England fans, you do have one eye on what is going to happen at the World Cup, people. And again, when you look at Arsenal's American ownership and just simply put the globalization of football, Saka is their franchise player. I do hate that word, but for those of you that need to hear that. But with that profile and the club's reliance on him, when things are not clicking, naturally the questions are going to come. The England international, unfortunately, only has 2 goals since the turn of 2026, or the turn of the year. He's played 17 games and missed 3 games with a hip injury. To be fair, though, when I look at Saka, I think last year you were set for your most standout campaign. You obviously got injured. You came back against Real Madrid. You did pick up some little knocks and niggles. I think, you know, when you get a big injury like that, you start picking up other kind of injuries. It messes with your confidence, your rhythm, your fluidity, your goals and assists. Also, at the end of the day, I do think Saka looks like he's lost confidence. And I do think there's a bit of an attacking tax that has to be applied on the manager. Let's face it, whether we've won, lost or drawn, those have been factors. But part that off on the side. In life, control the controllables. Bukayo, you're not taking on your man enough. You're not getting enough goals and you're not getting enough assists. And something you know you used to do, like I used to see with a couple of our players, you put the team on your back and made the difference. And I do think at times, you know, we've had Saka's carried the team. We've had to carry him. And I think it's, you know, it's, if there's someone I'm going to do that for, it's him. But at the end of the day, we can't carry any passengers, people. Before he scored in the 2-2 draw against Wolves last month, when he played as a 10, he had not found the back of the net in 15 games in all comps. He's only got 6 league goals in 27 appearances at the time of making this, people. And it's jarring, man, because you look at the hamstring issue from last season, it was the first of his career, major injury of his career. And you do question, does he need to change his game? Has he lost physicality and things of that ilk, people? And it's annoying, man, for someone that's, you know, played a lot of times for this football club, been, you know, one of the youngest English players to reach a milestone of 250 appearances for us. We got to remember that injury prior to his return last season against Fulham, in which I was at the game. He was out for 101 days, people, before he obviously bagged against Real Madrid and helped us reach the semi-finals. This season, he's also picked up a hamstring injury. So he's had another hamstring injury. So like 2 of those, a hip injury. And I think there was a game like what we've seen Saliba this season. He's kind of pulled out, people. So it's kind of jarring, man. It really is jarring. You do have to ask if historically Arteta's put too much of the burden on Bukayo, people, because it's easy to forget he's 24 years of age. When you look at the start of the 2020-21 season, his full season as a starter for our club when he just turned 19, only 13 players have played more Premier League minutes, including added on time than him, where he played 13,394 minutes. Of those 13, Saka is by distance the youngest, and only 3 of them are also attackers, who generally attacking players are subbed a lot more quicker. So yeah, people, he's played already nearly plus 100, 300 senior appearances for club and country before even turning 24. There's obviously going to be concerns when you play so young. It could take its toll. And we've seen plenty of those footballers. Saka will do well by the end of his career to be mentioned in the same breath as a Wayne Rooney or as a Cesc Fabregas. But you saw kind of how it phased out. Off the top of my head, James Milner, maybe one that played at 16 and he's still kind of here. And he gets fouled a lot, really. He's one of only 6 Premier League players to be fouled 300 plus times since Arteta's first game in charge, people. So it is what it is in that regards, man. But I mean, you look at Bukayo. I'm never going to give up on him. I'm going to be critical, but there's plenty of players I'll give up before I give up on Bukayo. He's still my winger. For me, I feel like when I don't know how to make it make sense to you guys, but it's almost like the sheer amount of volumes of games that he's had to play, we have ran him into the ground and it's come back to bite him. And I think when you've been at the game, since 19 and you've done so well, and I always say these are his 4 real seasons because we're where we should be as a football club. Of the 4, he's had 3 standout seasons or good campaigns. This is his first sluggish one. Unfortunately, though, we're still licking our wounds from Sunday. We obviously are trying to compete in 3 trophies, people. We can't afford to carry passengers. And Saka is one of the guys like Saliba, Gabriel, Declan Rice, David Raya that I would define as the spine of our team, loosely, people. We can't afford to carry passengers. And Saka looks like he needs carrying, people. I don't think in conclusion he's playing as bad as people are making out, but he's nowhere near as good as he could be. And he's always the shining light, the beacon of hope. He's not been that, to the point where people are questioning, he's got engaged, he's doing this, he's doing that. Stats aren't everything. When you look at the underlying factors on how we actually play as a team, open play chances created, touches in the up box, how high our defensive line is versus how low opponents are, it takes me to how I feel about Bukayo, in that the only statistics I'm interested in is goals and assists, because defense wins titles. I think we do have a title-winning defense, even though they ain't got it. Goals win games, and the team that scored over 100 up there for goals in the Premier League. It's another year where I think I've uttered the same words on this platform. And what I mean by that is we know we're going to score, but who is going to go and get the goals? And when you look at the underlying statistics beyond goals and assists, it shows positives and light at the end of the tunnel, a bit like what I alluded to with our collective attacking stats. So it's not like we're starting from 0. But at the same time, though, since the turn of the year, Saka is failing the eye test. He's not getting the goals and the assists. And playing well doesn't win silverware, people. And I don't really care how much a player gets paid, but he's not a star boy anymore. He's a star man. He's on 300k. He's captained this football club. He's the franchise player. He's a poster boy for club and country. I think he's a world-class individual and top 5 in his position. So with that comes up with great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, or whatever Spider-Man said. As I said, though, people, he's still at the top bracket for a lot of attacking metrics. It might not be, like a number of players, his most standout individual season, but it could be his most memorable if we do what we need to do, which is obviously winning silverware, people. It's a weird one, man. Again, I want to know you lot's temperature on Bukayo. How are you lot feeling? Do you think his injuries? Do you think there's been an over-reliance? Is it systemic? What can Saka do? Is it one singular reason, or is it a bunch of things, people? For me, I'm not giving up on Bukayo. You're my guy. He came back from injury, pattern Real Madrid. He's done numerous slappings in big games. Form is temporary, class is permanent, but it must start now, people. We need to get to some finals. We need to win some silverware. And obviously, you've got a World Cup to participate for England.